I'm pleased to introduce past District Governor Dr. Mahesh Kotbagi. He has held various positions in Rotary, both in India and internationally. He's been the chairman, South Asia Literacy Summit, joint chairman, Rotary Institute in 2014, vice governor, RID in 2014-15, international training leader, chairman, technology, Rotary South Asia Literacy Summit, Councillor International Services, Councillor IYE Services, and he's been the RI President's representative for quite a few years. And he was the RIP's representative in 2012-13, same year Vice Chairman Rotary South Asia Summit, Special Aid Rotary Institute, Trustee of Rotary India Humanity Foundation, Councillor Occasional Services. Again, he was the RIP's representative in 2011-12. He's been the Councillor Disease Prevention and Treatment in 2010-11. He was again the RI President representative in 2006-2007. He was a district governor in 2005 and 2006. He has very good, great proficiency in English speaking, writing, and reading. Special skills on audio and video presentations. He has produced many community awareness films and audio-video conferences. He's been a trainer and speaker in many Rotary districts for district conferences, PETs, AG's training programs, district assembly, installations, etc. He's been a speaker in World Blind Union in Australia, presentations on Indian literacy promotion program in Japan, speeches on healthcare in South Africa, a speaker both in the country and abroad, and has so far visited many countries like Australia, Canada, South Africa, US. In fact, he has covered all the countries in the English letter alphabet. All the things are there, and Nepal and many more. He has got a lot of experience in research and district bifurcation procedure. He has done some publication, district rules and procedures, international youth exchange, hand guide promotion, and he's been a project coordinator and chairman for more than 10 matching grants. And of course, he's a regular attendee for all the Rotary International Conventions. And he has attended 100% all the Rotary RA institutes after governorship. More than 11 institutes attended, starting from Calcutta to Sri Lanka, Colombo, Chandigarh, Goa, and US, and all the places. He's a gold medalist in post-graduation, a good speaker with humor, excellent networking skills, completed RLI training programs. He has done plenty of service projects, cow banks for village women in rural areas for self-generation of income, milk dairy equipments and collection centers managed by women through microcredit loans, rubella vaccination program for more than 1 lakh girls in rural India, computer lab setup in more than 100 rural schools. He's done eye surgery and cataracts for 110,000 free rural senior citizens. He has also bagged awards of Service Above Self, 4 Avenue of Service Citation, TRF District Service Award, Polio Plus Appreciation Award, Major Donor, TRF Level 2, and Benefactor. Ladies and gentlemen, the last and very important, which I was always impressed, is not mentioned in the biodata. I was talking to me. He has delivered more than 150 children only in Pune. And not much of statistics available for the other parts of the country. He is MD in gynecology and a successful and popular gynecologist in Pune. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you past District Governor, Rtn. Dr. Mahesh Kotbagi.
All the dignitaries on the dais and all my friends from my motherland, from Karnataka state. It's very indeed pleasure to come always here and be amongst all of you. Whatever you heard from Pradeep, I just wanted actually Pradeep to sing a song or maybe play a mouth organ rather than reading all those page lines. Pradeep, you're underestimating me by saying 150 children after the learned speaker just spoke about the potential of the India. You just said 150 children. they might feel that 150 children by me only. So it is not 150, but forget about that. We should not compete on those Indian statistics over here. Friends, we have our own good friend as RIPR, Dr. Singh, happens to be my very, very good friend. I was just waiting and sitting in front of the stage, and for a moment I looked at John Germ. And then I thought, how did John Germ chose him as the RIPR? So for a moment I felt the number of hair on the head of John Germ is more than Dr. Singh. So Singh happens to be more experienced than him. And I think that's why he's all the way from there to this place. My own friend again, Rtn.Ananth, who happily invited me along with DRFC Badri. I don't know how Badri keeps on playing a lot of different things. But last year also Badri called me again. This year I am here. But this year he made a little bit of jugglery, you know. He made 2020 match for me. He said, we are 40 years, 40th conference in here, and you have to speak for 20 minutes. So 40th conference and 20 minutes for a centenarial subject of Rotary Foundation. So you can imagine what a gynecologist can do. I need a particular time to deliver, and here I am not going to get it. So we have to do a fast track delivering. Now let's do with all the help, but let me confess why I'm here. And I'm very proud to tell you, I'm always proud to be here because of so many friends, whether it's Asha, whether it's Suresh, but most important, few years back, one of my very, very dear colleague, he and me used to work for several events where we made the institute into a technological institute, summits. Then we also made a lot of Rotary programs into technological advances. And one day we both were sitting at the backstage, and I just said, why don't you file your papers for a district governorship? And he said, are you crazy? I said, yes, I always get ideas when I sit at the backstage. And there was no one else but my friend Samir. Samir has been elected here unopposed. So Samir, congratulations to you. And I had promised him that time that when you become governor, I am going to come to your district. But of course, you know, once you become a DJ and you forget the PDG. That's what had happened. He forgot me. So he didn't invite me, but Ananth invited me here. But more or less, I'm here. I'm here for a very different subject today. You know? I saw a lot of Rotarians here when I was sitting here. And some of them, when the earlier learned speaker, she was talking, they were also looking at the WhatsApp. You know, there is some application called WhatsApp. And normally the WhatsApp is the application which normally doesn't give you anything except killing your time. So some of them were fiddling with WhatsApp. Some of them were, looking at their watches. Some of them chatting here and there. And I always feel, that one who gives so much time to come here all the way, Nagesh will understand how much time he has given for foundation. How much time we give here to come to you and meet all of you. So I want your 20 minutes attention. I want your 20 minutes smile. I want 20 minutes your concentration for this particular subject. My subject was joy of giving. But when I saw it while coming in the car, I saw that there is one more speaker who's going to talk about giving as a legacy in India, and which I think tomorrow. So I was thinking, the Gynac should not talk about joy of giving. You have been giving joy of giving. So I have to only deliver. So let's, classify these subjects. But then I was here and I said, let me talk this same subject into a little bit of different manner. This is a special song for Pradeep because he liked this song last year. So it says simple, the future, what it says, we don't know. You heard the earlier speaker, she said three things. She said, we don't know what China is going to do. She also said, we don't know what Trump is going to do. She also said that what is the Southeast Asian policy? What is going to happen? They don't know. She also said what Modi's government is going to achieve, we don't know. But here we all are here. We know what Rotary Foundation has done. Here we all are here to see the changes. What has happened because of your great, great network. So first of all, what I thought, Ananth, you get a joy of giving by, various methodology. Because whenever there is a session on foundation, people want to run away. They feel, that DRF is going to, Badri is going to come, put his hands into your pockets. Ananth is going to ask you to give some money and you cannot say no and you want to run away. First I thought, the definition of Rotary Foundation's giving, let us classify into several subjects. So I was just trying to magnify. Magnify the word, what I always say, what is kind of a giving. And how can you really see? If you really want to understand any particular subject, there is only one device. I don't say there's a device called projector or a telescope or a microscope. I always find a best device in the world, and the device is eyeball. What you see is the real device. You witness. What you see, the pleasure with the beneficiaries. What you see, the pleasure what you get when you change their life. I think that is the only device which I always say one of the most transparent eyeballs. And this is something like, the foundation which I always compare is something like an artist, An artist, when you put him for a sketch, he visualizes something which is not front of him. So I feel that the foundation is an art which has been silent in the Rotary International's, complete kind of a soul, which keeps on chalking, which keeps on drafting, which keeps on, making different colors of different life. It doesn't differentiate. I have never seen that there is any differentiation. Like the nature, like the birds, like the trees, like the animals. Do you ever think that should we do projects in Africa or not? To Hindu or Muslims? To Christians or Sikh? To the richer country or the poor country? We never think about it. So foundation works on a very simple platform. It works with a concept. We all are equals. And it gives a hope, It always gives a very different kind of hope. This is not something which I want to compare with Donald Trump and Mickey, which normal jokes come on WhatsApp. But I always find this was a hope which was given to us in our childhood. I'm sure in your childhood you saw this caricature and the cartoons, all of you. Did you ever think who's Mickey and who's Minnie and who's Pooh and who's Winnie and how these characters came up? They came with the imaginary kind of a concept. And I feel these imaginations, when they came, they became the real successful things. And then I feel, let us try to put your brains and your heart linking. Because, I always tell in my speeches as a doctor that we have been taught only two organs in life. One is brain and second is heart. Because many times when you are born, they say your heart is beating, and whenever you want to give a death certificate, they write the brain is dead or the heart is dead. But they forget to give one silent organ, which is called as a mind. And that's why I say the mind is the most precious organ to do any kind of a service, to get any kind of a joy from this great work. Because that mind connects your mind, that is brain, and your heart together to give you a very different kind of a beautiful world. So I think there are a lot of good things which happens in the world, and you never know when all these things will also go back. You all people are sitting in this beautiful hall, in the air conditioning hall, but you never know what is going to happen tomorrow. We have seen lives changing day and day. We have seen even the richer countries. You'll be surprised to know, I used to always feel that the richer country doesn't require any kind of a project. But when I went and tried to explore all the rich countries, I found the food bank requirement was the highest in USA. So, the concept of rich and poor, it depends on the economical GDPs, but they necessarily may not be with the people's happiness. And that's why I always quote example, a place like Bhutan. Bhutan says our happiness of people is greater than the actual economical GDP. And I think you and me as Rotarians, we should be here to do this life changing. This small child, this child was living in a very nice place in our own north of India. One day, there was absolutely a big disaster. And the child lost his father, the child lost the entire house, the child doesn't know where the parents are. And still, the child was happy to go. You never know, that's why I always keep on saying that today your life is very beautiful. Today your life is very safe. Today your life is, maybe blessed with your parents, maybe blessed with your teachers, maybe blessed with so many spiritual things. And that's why you don't feel the importance. This is also one of our neighboring districts from Nepal. One sudden day, the Nepal had a major disaster. And all economy of Nepal got changed. And they didn't know how to live next life. This also happened in Kashmir just 2 years back. There's huge floods. And what happened? No food, no clothes, no medicine. And every time when I see all this life, changing life, I get only one thing in front of me. And that is people like you doing good, great work for foundation. How you have changed their life, how you have changed their hope to live. And that's why I say, when you change the hope of their living, then actually you get the real joy of giving. You can't imagine our own, volunteers, these are the shelter kit boxes made from the Calcutta clubs. They carry all these shelter kit packs on a bicycle, costing not even more than 1,500 rupees, but which makes people survive for first 7 days after any kind of a disaster. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, these disasters don't happen only at the poor class. These disasters can happen to anyone in life, and that is what is the statistics shows. But Rotary changes life with faith and the trust. When I saw this picture specifically, I used to always feel that how can you give confidence to the other person's life? Do you need money? Do you need age? Do you need strength? Do you need power? Do you need a network? And then the answer when I looked at this picture was completely changed. And it says, the trust and the faith can only be given by the warmth, love, and by just showcasing that I am going to be with you if you need to me at any moment. And I think this is something which I always felt, whenever I keep on traveling. One day I was traveling to one place, and it was the Eastern African country. And I spoke to one of the ladies, I used to always read some stories in the historical times, and those stories typically said that there is a black and the white racism. And typically they will say, that there is still the black and the white racism existing. So I was talking to that lady, and that lady said, no sir, there is no black or white racism, but there is a different kind of a racism. I said, what is it? And she said, when my child was born in my house, my baby was blue color. And when my neighbor's child was born, my neighbor's child's baby was pink color. Why did God give birth to two different women from the same class, same creed, same mud, with two different colors? And then it gave me more and more depth of the topic. Her child had a congenital heart disease. And that's why, because of the blood circulation, the baby was becoming bluish and blackish. The cost to recover that baby was more than 10 lakh rupees, which she could not do it. And friends like you, friends like Rotarians, our major friend like Rotary Foundation, came with so many global grants and 3H grants, and which they created a project, Little Heart Project, which changed the life of thousands and thousands of infant children. And what happened? Every blue child started becoming completely pink. That's only because of your money. That's because of your network. Some doctor who gave his free expertise, and when he saw the child becoming converted from blue to pink, he got the joy of giving. Some hospital which did not charge anything, the owner of the hospital got the joy of giving because the hospital was utilized for the right cause. The foundation gave their DDF and the foundation money, which the grant became double and multiple. So the foundation trustees got the happiness of joy of giving. So I think, friends, the joy of giving is unlimited if you really work. And I think all these children, when I meet, when I talk, they don't know who has done this entire change in their life. But I'm so sure that in their heart, one beat always makes, one beat always makes them realize that this heartbeat is the heartbeat of Rotary. And I think that is what the joy of giving you all should enjoy in your life, only in this life. There are so many such several stories. We keep on going to different African countries. This was a small episode which happened. This is a lady from a country called Lesotho. Lesotho is around about 500 miles from Cape Town. This lady talks in Swahili language. And she was suffering from both eyes congenital cataract. And she could not speak English at all. We operated her. Next day morning, this lady started jumping and started shouting. So I didn't understand what she's talking. And I asked one of the translators there who spoke in Swahili and English. And this lady was saying, in short, she said, I got a granddaughter. When the granddaughter was born, I never could see her because my both eyes had congenital cataract. But I could hear her crying. I could hear her talking. Later she started crawling. I could also hear her crawling. But the government told me that it will take around about 10 years because there's almost 10 to 12 years waiting list in a lot of such countries where if you need a free surgeries. And she said my age was 89 and I didn't know whether the God will permit me to live more 10 years before I leave this world and I'll miss ever to see my granddaughter. And then there was a team of some, Rotary volunteers who came there. They operated her. And in less than 3 days of time, this lady could see the granddaughter before she could go back to any God's country. So now you can understand what kind of joy all that entire doctors, what kind of joy even this lady must have got just because of your great work, what you have been doing. We always talk about great legacy of our organization called polio. You want to remember when the polio mission started, there were thousands and thousands of children every day getting born with some kind of disabilities. Ask in this auditorium who has a child or who has a relative or who has a very close friend with this kind of a special child. And then you will realize what psychology can be. I spoke to this girl. This was in one of the rural areas in Maharashtra. And I went and I spoke to this girl. Her name is Sangeeta. And I said, what is that you're looking at in life? And she said, Doc, I'm only looking one thing. I'm looking that no one should ever assist me to take me to the toilet. Not only as a girl, but I don't want anyone to pick me up and take me to the toilet. The day when it comes that I'll go and walk with my own feet to the toilet, I think I have lived my entire life. So you can understand what the smallest hope this small girl had. When the corrective surgeries were done, this girl was operated, and post-physio, this girl, one day with the crutches, went to the toilet on her own and sat on the WC, the Western toilet, on her own because of the strength of Rotarians. And she came back, and she said that she wanted to see us. And she was holding something in her fist, and she walked towards us, and she said, I want to meet the doc. And when she opened the fist, because the fist was completely, muddy, and she was always crawling on her hands and all. So I didn't know, we didn't understand what she's trying to do. She opened the fist, and then there was a small eclair chocolate in the fist, which her parents had given her, that go and get operated, don't cry. And that's why her mother had given this chocolate to her, and that chocolate she had kept it with her without eating because of fear. And after this surgery, when she went to the toilet on her own, she gave that chocolate to the doctors in the team. So I think, friends, these are the real examples which I'm trying to explain. There are so many examples, so much work which is left in this world, but I think the joy of giving is unlimited. It is infinity. The children who sit on the wet floors, the children who walk miles and miles to the schools with no chappals, with no shoes, the children who want to do the good education, but they don't have even the school benches, they don't have the basic infrastructure. And then the Rotary changes their entire facelift. And then they feel that I want to come for the education. Then they want to learn, then they want to get educated, then they want to do good in the work. They want to change the facelift of the work. So I think these are the very, very important subjects. Our cycles, our toys, or so many things which we give to our children and grandchildren, they normally lie at the corners. But these children,
They're just waiting for hope, even for a second-hand cycle, even for a second-hand toy, even for a second-hand read book. But they feel a great joy because they have ambitious to live in life. This was a child which I saw very close to Madagascar. But this right side toilet, when I saw it, it clicked me of this child which I saw it in Madagascar. You won't believe, I went to one of the villages and I asked some small girls why they left the education. And they said, when we got the menses, there was no toilet in the school. And we had to leave the school because there was no facility in the school. There was no water in the school. Can you believe a girl leaving a school, leaving her friends, leaving her education, leaving her access to the knowledge, just because there was no small 8 by 4 feet shelter for covering her, for giving her dignity of life, because no one funded 10,000 rupees for a toilet. No one could give access of water. And lifelong, because she left that education, she never ever got a joy of being an equal child, the way your child, the way my child, the way your grandchildren and our grandchildren live. There are villages. There's so many villages we know that in those villages, parents are not willing to give their daughters for marriage. They don't want their daughter to get married to those villages. For a simple reason, they don't want their daughter every day to wake up and walk 5 kilometers to go and get water for cooking. They don't want their, a girl, so beautiful princess, to just suffer her life doing this nonsense work forever. So I think there's so much joy, in life, which you have to understand. By introducing your friend to the foundation, who can be a donor, by introducing an organization to give a network for maybe building a corporate social responsibility, by doing some kind of idea, because idea changes the life of people. You might be having several ideas in your life, which ideas can get, the foundation do a great work. We can do a great changes in this requirement of people. I think the joy of giving will only come in this particular life, because the next life you never know. And that's why I always say, that this is the only life which you have to get this joy. I want to close with my own remarks, because every day I see in the hospital, there's one birth and then there's one death. And whenever I see these two things happening under one roof, under one shelter, I always think that when I look at the birth, the child is crying and all the relatives are, smiling and happy. And when I see the death in the intensive care unit, I see the person is either in the crying stage or in the silent stage, but the relatives are crying. But between these two, I always find that before the last breath, that soul always feels, I should have little bit more time. I should have done something better than this. I should have had, not done this kind of a life. And please give me more opportunity. Please give me more time to live more life. But that time has already gone. And that's why it says, कि मरने के बाद मेरा जनाजा निकला और जनाजे के पार सारा गाँव निकला पर साला वही नहीं निकला जिसके लिए मेरा जनाजा निकला. So that moment is already gone in life, and I feel we as Rotarians should feel that this is the best life. And I only, request all of you, do whatever best you can do rather than ignoring, rather than saying no to the DRFC, no to the governor, no to the foundation team. Do anything, but try to be a part of helping hand, because the world needs you. May God bless you, and thank you so much again once for inviting me.
Rotary District 3190, Serving Humanity Plaque of Honor, PDG Dr. Mahesh Kotbagi. We, the Rotarians of Rotary International District 3190, salute your commitment to Rotary's ideals and acknowledge your actions in serving humanity. This plaque is presented to you in appreciation to your participation in the 40th District Conference being held at Bangalore, dated February 4th and 5th of 2017, signed by Rotarian Shri Rtn.Ananth, District Governor 2016-17, RI District 3190.